inspires individuals and communities to come together, reconnect, and build a brighter future based on empathy, compassion, and solidarity. In fact, friends, just for your information, every year on the World Happiness Day, this release the World Happiness Report. And today also it is getting released, the World Happiness Report 2024, and it was in July 2011 when the UN General Assembly adopted the resolution of happiness towards a holistic definition of development. And in fact, happiness is incidentally a very, very important fundamental human goal, because each one of us, friends, need to work to see how we can remain happy. That is something very important. And here, when we are talking about happiness, we to me, actually, friends, I think it is a skill. It is an important skill, and it is not just a passing feeling that I'm happy, but a skill that should be and needs to be actively developed. Like, we need to have conscious efforts like reframing our negative thoughts, forwarding, practicing gratitude, and making value based choices. Also, in a world where we are living in real materialistic goals, we are running for materialistic achievements. Our lowering of expectations, no, scaling back our inflated expectations and insatiable wants, will create space to become more happy. Because the more we run for that, we will be unhappy, because we will start comparing, no, that my friend has this and this person has that, and there is no end to it. We will never be happy. But if we scale back, I think that helps. Then also we need to, when we start making excuses and start blaming others, for everything, then we cannot get happiness. But we must own for our own things, our that is responsibility. Our own issues, we need to own them. Also, we need to engage with difficulties. We must know how to overcome difficulties, because lasting happiness requires courage to directly face difficulties, learn from them, and grow. And it needs avoidance, which we need to avoidance breeds more suffering. We need to know how to handle difficult situations and come that, and that is an important goal for happiness. Then self acceptance is very important, because it means embarrassing imperfection and personal limitations with compassion. And lastly, for me, happiness means authentic happiness is essentially, to me, is an inner journey which requires authentic happiness is basically with an inner journey which requires self awareness, responsibilities, and life engaged and resilience. So these are the opening points I thought I would like to share with you, and we have some very good esteemed panel with us today. So our speakers today, let me introduce you to all the speakers. Our speaker number one is Madam Ishita Thaplial. She is a senior psychologist from India. She is both a counseling psychologist and positive psychologist. And incidentally, she works with me. We are trying to put together a book on the essence of human interdependence. She works with a whole lot of people to promote happiness, in fact, positive psychology. And also, she is involved in doing research on peace psychology. So, very interesting angle we will get on peace psychology. We have our in fact, I call her, she is my sister, like Jane Murutu from Kenya. And we do a lot of work together. She is a very senior Rotary Peace Fellow from Kenya, having 20 years of experience, and 20 years of experience, and she has specialized in peace, devolution, climate change, and she has worked in projects all over Ethiopia, Somalia, and Tanzania. And she has a special expertise in social and behavior change communication. So we will also get a different angle from Sister Jane Murutu. Our next speaker would be Ota Emmanuel Sakwe. He is from Cameroon, and he is expertise in project design and management, conflict resolution. He has been an alumni of various universities, including the Kofi Annan Institute of uh, Peace Studies International Institute in Ghana. Also, he is presently heading SELF as program manager and tender in and a teacher in GBH HS Limbe. Our next speaker is Fatima Khalfan, also from Kenya. She's a student, she's a law student in the Mount Kenya University. She has been part of AFS Yes program in 2017, and that was hosted in the United States. In fact, she runs a very interesting own project, that is the Fatima's Pad project, where she makes reusable pads and give them to the village girls. Commendable work, Fatima. And then our last speaker is Khushi Nigam, and she's part of the GPLT's youth project. She's the coordinator of the Peace Gong, which works with young people across the world, including our friends from Kenya. And she won't be there because she's presently, even though she's from India, but she is presently in Kathmandu, where her internet connectivity is extremely poor. So we have a video a message from her, and which will be played out by Ishita. So these are very distinguished panel we have, and then we have very senior people who are there in this webinar. Also, it's important when I was talking to Professor UL Bhati. The important is that the quality also is the quality of people who are there, even though we may not have too many people, but the serious discussions and the work that each one of you are doing in your respective areas is very important. So quality of people that we have in all our seminars of GPLT is something very extraordinary, and such intense discussions we have. So I think that is an important thing. Also, we have our friend Rana Basharat Ali Khan. He has been a member, part of all our programs. So he will be there with me, working and trying to summarize the esteemed speakers. And he himself will be speaking. He is an UN observer, and he has been very, very active a member of the GPLT. We have Nandita ji, we have Joseph, who is our host for today, and various other important members. And I am sure I'm getting messages that people are joining. So that is something very good. So if we start, if we is Ishita ready? Because she had just messaged me that there was a problem with her electricity connections. So is she ready, Ishita? If you can hear us.
Yes, sir. I'm now it's fine.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay.
I'm
So also our friend from Cameroon has also joined. So our first speaker for the day, as I said, Uchita Tatyal from India. She is a very senior psychologist and does a lot of very interesting work. And as I said, we are working together in different fields. So if uh, and my humble request to each of the esteemed speaker is that we need to have 10 minutes so that at the end we have some concrete good discussions over there. So, once again, thanks to everyone in this series of the Global Peace. Let's talk something very good. And I'm sure we will be having our chairperson, Nikki Ma'am, at any some stage. She has been an inspiration for all of us. I believe she was traveling, so she has not been able to join yet. But let us start with Ishita. Do you need to make a PowerPoint presentation, Ishita?
yes, sir. I do have a screen to share.
Okay, so can I request Joseph to facilitate so that Ishita can share her? Yes, she is the co-host now.
Yeah,
Thank you
sure.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So please go ahead, 10 minutes for each speaker, please. Kindly be in time. Thank you very much.
Hello and namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you all on this beautiful occasion of World Happiness Day. I hope I can put my views and enrich the idea of happiness a little bit for you all today. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation with you all. Um, Please let me know if you can see it. Uh, Hope it's visible, right? Is my screen visible?
Uh, Not
Sir,
yet
can you
in my.
please see?
Yes, now it is visible. Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So to start with, um, this basic question, happiness is something which is very pertinent to ask, especially today. We all chase happiness in our day-to-day lives. Everyone around us is seeking happiness. Most of our efforts are, in order to ensure happiness. But we need to ask ourselves, why are we so badly chasing happiness? Is it even important for us to be happy? Why exactly are, all our efforts inclined in order to secure happiness? Starting from very basic thing, being a psychologist, I would like to start from presenting a psychological definition of happiness. So, psychologically, happiness is a state of emotional well-being. A person who's happy requires to be emotionally stable in the long term. Now, we all may experience the moment of ecstasy and joy which we all have, in occasions of certain achievements, certain goals, certain happy news. But those are moments are very temporary. When we talk about happiness, we talk about a long-term emotional state of well-being, which is stable. A very important idea about the idea of long term happiness, which we can take from psychology and its definition, is the idea of overall positive emotional state. The key element here to achieve this overall positive state is our own personal stability. When I talk about stability, I talk and emphasize particularly on emotional stability. While we may be inclined to seek moments which are extremely delightful, we must not forget that a stable and peaceful emotional state actually keeps us motivated throughout our life journey. The question now that pertains is how to achieve this overall positive emotional state in our lives. The most effective suggestion here, which I personally incline toward, is achieving this emotional stability, inner peace within our own self. We can do this through various things, and emphasis being give importance to things that are meaningful and hold important in our life. These things can be ranging from personal growth, our achievements, good health, healthy relationships, inner contentment, or peace, and much more. What is important for us to comprehend here is our own role in ensuring happiness. Much of us and many of many times we try to seek happiness from doing things which are external. We try to seek happiness through other people and their gestures, and wait for opportunities and moments to come for us to feel that moment of happiness. But researchers show that much of our happiness is actually under our personal control. To achieve this, we need to develop an attitude of self awareness and self care. When we become aware of our own needs, our desires, our strengths, weaknesses, and our overall personality, we start gaining better insights on our own reactions and responses in various situations that we may encounter in our day to day lives. Once we are able to be more aware about our responses and how we feel in certain situations, we become more actively involved in managing those responses. And that leads us to, I'm extremely sorry. I think there is this electricity issue. I hope I'm still connected.
You are
Hello.
connected. You are connected, Ishita. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, as I was saying, I was talking about self-awareness. Once we become self-aware about our own responses and our feelings in those situations, it helps us to manage our responses in those situations. And that creates a peaceful state of mind. And like I said previously in my opening statements, a peaceful and stable state of emotion leads to long-term happiness. The state of emotional stability is actually key to keep happiness and a joyful situation of your mind and health overall. Now, the other question that comes is about spreading happiness. Why should we spread happiness? Is staying happy amongst ourselves not enough? Why are we trying to effort in ensuring other people's well-being? And is it even helpful for our personal well-being? Well, as human beings, we are social species. We live and thrive on other people's care and support. Reflect upon some interesting works done by some researchers, I would like to put forth the work of Karen O'Brien, who said, who says that human development is about interdependence and connectedness. Much of our human developmental thinking today has sadly become individualistic, reductionist, fragmented, and it considers us as separate entities rather than connected. However, internalizing care and support and becoming providers for each other helps us in ensuring a peaceful and long term emotional stability within our own selves. Many of the stalwarts of psychology, for instance, Freud and Skinner, have given many examples wherein they show our conscious and subconscious somehow being determined by other people's reactions. Some of the researchers show that many of our behaviors learn by observing other people around us, which we in psychology call social learning. These points are very key when we talk about human interdependence. One of the key takeaway of World Happiness Reports also says that a virtuous behavior raises the happiness of virtuous actors as well. This very much supports the idea of human interdependence. Human interdependence is additionally also supported through scientific, religious, and native worldviews, extending loving, kindness, and compassion beyond our closest relationships to include all others and allow us to experience a wider circle of connection and joy. These relationships include wider circle of or web of all living and non-living things. All these creations enrich us and give our lives a sense of connection and meaning as we respond to the responsibility we have to care for them. We experience less conflict and have a mutuality of equality in our attitude towards them. We also realize that we are filled with a sense of mindful presence and kinship that motivates us in right action as we care for ourselves and the universe that we all are part of. Because we are interconnected, we do not feel separated and we can experience a deeper sense of happiness and well being. Another important concept to this is that of us being interdependent as human. To us, human interdependence literacy means developing a critical capacity to not only understand and assimilate the deep meaning of human interdependence, but also be able to act on principles of it in our day to day lives. It also means how we can enhance our cognitive capabilities to comprehend and complexities involved in micro and macro dimensions
No.
of the phenomena of human interdependence and contribute to its realization at all levels of our life and society. It also entails developing our traditional, indigenous, cultural knowledge which underline the essence of human interdependence. It is only then we will be able to promote peaceful coexistence in real sense. So, to summarize it all, we can see the importance of both self care efforts and our virtuous actions towards each other and towards our society as whole in creating a peaceful and emotional stable state of happiness for our own selves and for all those who experience and share space with us. With this, I would like to conclude wishing you realize happiness not only today but in every single moment of your life ahead. Thank you all. I hope you all have a beautiful day ahead.
Thank you, Ishita. It is amazing. You are exactly dead on target of the timings, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And some really critically important points you have talked about. You have talked about the essence of human interdependence, and happiness and self-awareness, and how we can have and ensure that we have a check on our emotions. So these are very, very important points. So we go ahead with our next speaker, if we agree. Sister Jane Murutu. I've already introduced to her. She's a very senior person from Kenya and has done a lot of work on behavior change, social and behavior change, communication, different issues related to climate change and peace in different countries of Africa. So we have some really good points, I'm sure, from Sister. So, Sister, if you're ready, can we start now?
Thank you very much. Happy World Happiness Day to everyone. Greetings from Kenya. I'll be building on what the earlier speaker had been saying, and my topic is unveiling the happiness deficit. Just as it is an emotional virtue, an emotional interconnectedness that is not only beneficial to us and to the rest, the same way we have sicknesses that come about as a result of a deficit in a certain vitamin, for example, we're going to explore within these few minutes the deficit that comes with the lack of adequate happiness. By way of introduction, I would say that happiness is really fundamental to our well-being. So there exists a prevailing phenomenon known as happiness deficit. This deficit encapsulates the disparity between the level of happiness people desire and what they actually experience. So the shortcoming between the maximum level of happiness is what we're going to explore for these few minutes. And what is happiness deficit? It refers to the gap between individuals' aspirations for happiness and their actual subjective well-being. There's an aspiration where you want to have this happiness, but there's a state in which you are. It might be 50%, it might be 40%, it might be -10, -2. So that is what we're going to explore. What are some of the factors that contribute to this deficit? My brother already mentioned some. The earlier speaker, my sister, also mentioned a few. I'll also build on that with a few more, or rather emphasize by way of just highlighting them. Number one is the societal pressures. Unrealistic expectations set by society regarding success, wealth, and status. People think that when you have a big car, you're happy. When you have so much balance in your account, you're happy. You drive the latest model of the vehicle, you're happy. You have the biggest mansion in the whole estate or in the whole town, you're happy. Number two is the social comparison. The increased exposure to others' curated lives, particularly through social media, leading to comparisons and feelings of inadequacy. And this, especially in this current era and age, where we see so many things happening on social media. People think that it is a reality. They boast a lot, those, especially those who are running the content, but in essence, it is a fake life. Some of the cars that you see there, some of the pictures that are shared with somebody posing as being in France, yet they're in the same country. It feels a lot to be desired. Many people think there's so much left behind by the Generation Z or the millennials. Materialism is also another factor. Pursuit of material possessions as a source of happiness. Thinking that if I have 100 million in my account, if I have 200 million, 1 billion in my account, that would result in happiness. But on the contrary, many end up committing suicide, those that we think are successful. So this results in it results in a state of disillusionment. Then there's the work culture, stressful work environments, spending long hours working. Some go beyond the 8 hours. They take their work to even their homes, to their bedroom. They cannot have or spare some time to talk through their spouses, their children, their relatives, or even neighbors. There's also the element of job satisfaction, and this contributes significantly to the happiness deficit. Then there's lack of social connection, where we have diminished social interactions, and loneliness exacerbates this kind of happiness deficit. So what are some of the consequences of the happiness deficit? We've already examined the factors, a few factors. It's not the list is not as exhaustive because of time. So number one consequence is the mental health implications. High prevalence of anxiety, depression, and other mental health diseases like Alzheimer, dementia are on the increase. Then there's the physical health effects, which is associated with cardiovascular diseases, weakened immune systems, and shorter lifespans. Happiness has a direct correlation with long life. We have another consequence being societal ramifications, that is reduced productivity, increased in healthcare costs as a result of sickness, illness, diseases, and the strained social relationships. You can agree with me that in this era and age, we are continually witnessing lots of dysfunctional families, lots of divorce rates. They're very high, including even in those countries that were believed to be very cohesive, very closed. We are constantly seeing this happening. And who are the people who suffer most? They're the children, most of whom turn out to become street children. Then there's the economic impact, where we have decreased consumer spending and economic growth due to low satisfaction and diminished well-being. So how then do we address the happiness deficit? By one, individual strategies. Happiness is both individual and collective, but we ought to be happy before we extend the tentacles of happiness to others. So number one, we have to cultivate gratitude. It was already said. Number two is to be mindful, to do mindful practices, techniques such as meditation, meditation, and yoga, for example, to enhance self-awareness and resilience. Pursuing meaningful goals, shifting focus from material pursuits to goals aligned with personal values and passions. Number two is societal interventions, redefining what success is all about, promoting diverse definition of success beyond the material wealth and prestige. Social policies, implementing policies that support work-life balance, implementing policies in our workplace, in our countries that support mental health services, and also that brings community together. And last but not least, education and awareness. Incorporating happiness and well-being in our education curricula and workplace programs. This will go a great way to help us achieve in as much on happiness. Then, what are some case studies and success stories? We've heard about Bhutan's Gross National Happiness Index. It is a pioneering approach to development. They prioritize happiness over GDP growth. This is a typical example of prioritizing what is more valuable compared to material things. Workplace initiatives. Companies like Google and Patagonia, for example, they have integrated or ingrained in their policies what they call employee-centric policies that leads to higher job satisfaction and productivity. So they go by what their employer needs, like reducing stress-related work, by promoting work-life balance, by allowing workers to work from home, and by ensuring that they put workers and customers ahead of their profits. Then we have the community programs, initiatives fostering social connections. This one really needs to be promoted and support networks such as community gardens. How many of our countries have community gardens? How many of us gather as neighbors, other than maybe during whenever we are faced with something that is emergency, or for example in funerals, when you find people gathering, or occasionally when we have weddings. But this doesn't happen every now and then. So this ought to be cultivated, nurtured, and encouraged. So in our conclusion, we need to embrace a holistic approach to well-being, which is imperative for addressing the happiness deficit. Secondly, there need to be more collaboration among individuals, among communities, among our government, where we don't see each other as rivals, and business, which is essential for creating a happier and more fulfilling society. By understanding the root causes, the consequences, and potential solutions to the happiness deficit, we can work towards a brighter and more content future for all. So the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This is my way of concluding it, and this is a quote from Marcus Aurelius. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister, again. Profound gratitude to both of our esteemed speakers for sticking to the time limits. And another very important dimension that you have talked about, a very important dimension, the whole issue of happiness deficit. That is the amount of happiness we really want and actually we are. So that's something we all need to ponder. Before we go to the next speaker, my humble request would be if all of us can switch on our videos for a few minutes, a few seconds, so that our friend Joseph can take a proper screenshot to be shared. May I request a gentle request to each one of us so that we can have a screenshot of all our esteemed participants in today's program. Uh, Joseph, is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So I hope you have been able to take it. So let us go to the next speaker. Okay.
I believe Joseph need to switch on his video
I
itself.
have taken some
And
clips.
there is
Okay.
feedback
Thank
in
you.
the
Thank
video.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So our next esteemed speaker is from Cameroon. His name is Ota Emmanuel Sakwe. Is he there? Are we able to see him? You joined briefly, but I'm not sure if he's still there. I don't think he's there. There was a problem with his network, possibly. So we go to the next speaker before wasting any time so that whenever he joins, we can get him. Actually, our next speaker is supposed to be Khushi Nigam from India, but she is in Kathmandu now for some work, and she has sent a small video for that. She's part of the Peace Gong, which works with young people across the world, and she's part of GPLT's youth initiative. I will request Ishita to kindly share the small video of Khushi before we ask Fatima to speak, and then we will have the summing up by Rana Basharat Ali Khan Saab, and then of course the question answers. So let us play the video of Khushi. Ishita, are you there? And if you can kindly play her video.
Yes, sir. I'm just sharing screen. Mm.
Are you able to do, please? Ishita, are you able to do it?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. I think there was some network issue. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, yes. So, are you able to play the
Okay.
video?
I'm sharing my screen, trying to play the video again. Please let me
Okay.
know it's playing. Can you see the video? This
Yes. I think so far we haven't been able to see it. Anyone has been able to see the video? I don't think so. Should we go to the next speaker, Ishita, before you can sort it out?
sir, I think there is some the video loading. It's not able to load. I'll try
Okay,
again in a
so
few minutes.
you try it while we go. Let's not waste time. And our next
Sure, sure.
speaker is, yes,
Go, go for the next speaker.
yes, yes. Her next speaker is Fatima Khalfan. She is a student of law, and she's a young person, very dynamic person. I have had the privilege of talking to her in a few programs. She incidentally is also from Kenya, and she's a law student at the Mount Kenya University, and she has been part of the AFS Yes program in 2017, which was hosted in the United States. Incidentally, she has started her own initiatives, Fatima's Pad Project, which makes remake reusable pads and give it to the village children. So Fatima, are you ready there? We can see you. So kindly unmute yourself and please speak.
Yes, so thank you very much. My name is Fatma Khalfan, and I'm from Kenya. And I've seen I'm the youngest here, so I'm very honored to be here. I've learned a lot so far about happiness. To be honest, I never knew about the International Day of Happiness until Mr. Okay, I can't pronounce this very well, but Mr. Kundo told me about it through via Visha. So yeah, I'm very happy and honored to be here. And I saw the main goal of the International Day of Happiness. It serves to remind us that being happy is a right. We have that right to be happy, and it's worth celebrating. So yes, and what I can say from being happy, I saw it's the feeling of being satisfied, the satisfaction, being the feeling of fulfillment and contentment. You are content with the life you're living. So maybe you are living the life that you wanted, or maybe you're okay with the life that you are, even if it's not what you wanted or what you're expected, but you are okay with where you are in life. So a lot has been said about happiness because I researched a lot on happiness, and I saw you are supposed to enjoy positive and healthy relationship with people around you for you to be happy. Having negative comments, having negative people around you all the time will make you to be unhappy. So being with people who bring out the best in you makes you happy. And also among many youth, I've seen many people, youth or teenagers, commit suicide or are depressed because they're being unhappy. That is the main issue. Even I can say in Kenya, we have had that's mostly university students committing suicide because they are unhappy. And I can say from my organization, which is Yes AFS, which take high school students to the US for a period of 1 year, one of our main goals is to promote peace, peaceful coexistence among nations. And there's a way that peace and happiness, they are linked together, like you can link them. And when you treat people with kindness, regardless of their race, gender, and religion, that promotes peace. At the same time, it promotes happiness. Also, I've seen also research shows that just 10% of happiness, it depends on a person's situation. Just 10%. So that means you have the power to control how you feel. You have the power to control if you want to feel happy, if you want to feel sad. Just 10% is because of our situation or the situation that we are in. The rest, it's on us. We can control. You can be okay with the situation that you're in. You can't change that, fine. Just learn to live with it. And yeah, so also among many youth, the main reason why youth are unhappy is because maybe social media, mainly social media. You see people doing more than you. You see people that you have studied with, people who you're studying with, they're already somewhere that you're not there. Someone is already working while already in school, while you're still just a student. You don't know what you're going to do with your life. Maybe someone you went with high school with is already successful while you are just there. You don't know what you want to do in life. So that is the reason why most people become unhappy. Just you try to compare your life with someone else. And you also, youth are also scared of being judged because of who they are. You are scared to say who you are. Maybe you are coming from a very poor background. So you are scared of telling people like, this is my background, because you are afraid of being judged. So because of that, you try to live up to people's expectations. and trying to live up to people's expectation, that's where you become unhappy. Because you try, let's say people are going for parties and you don't have money for that. What do you try? Like you try to stretch your parents or something else. And you just try to fit in, which is not right. And okay, I don't have a lot, but as a as a result of that, you see many people or many youth abusing drugs, committing suicide, as I've said. And I can say some way of how you can deal with unhappiness. First is to limit your screen time. Stay away from social media as much as you can. Try something else like reading books, take a walk, just do something else which is not being in social media, scrolling in Facebook, scrolling in Instagram, trying to see the type of life people are living. You'll be stressed because of that. Another thing is therapy. Most of the people feel like we should not be doing therapy or seek help because I don't know why, it's just how we were brought. It feel like going there, it's you are being ashamed. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So it should be people should see like it's a normal thing. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be unhappy. And if you're unhappy, you should just seek help. Don't be sitting at home and that will make you commit suicide or doing other things which you did not expect to do. And also, as a society, we should stop judging people who are unhappy or people who are depressed, because most of the people who are depressed are being judged by society like, why is she trying to do this and this if she cannot afford the life that she's doing? So just know it's an age, youth or teenagers that people go through, and after time they'll just try to support them, give them the advice they need, the help they need, and we hope that everything will turn out to the best. And also we advocate in social media. As I've said, I never knew about the International Day of Happiness. So if everyone just posted something in social media about International Day of Happiness, it could have gone somewhere. Like, I'm from Kenya, someone else is from the US, someone is from India. We all come together and advocate for International Day of Happiness, and we feel like we say something on it, then people could see that it's a normal thing. To be depressed is a normal thing. To be unhappy is a normal thing, but staying unhappy is what is on you. Like, being unhappy in the first place, it's okay, but what are you doing to get out of that situation? Are you just staying at home doing nothing, or are you seeking help? Are you trying out new things? Are you going out trying hobbies to get out of that unhappiness? So yes, and as youth, we should support each other youth, and yeah, that's all I have on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatima. That's good points that you were able to make. So now, may I request our dear friend Rana Basharat Ali Khan Saab, who is also an observer with the United Nations and very active member of the GPLT, to share his views. Or before that, Ishita, would you like to try once again Khushi's video? Otherwise, we have Rana Saab, and then, of course, our esteemed members who are all there, who are all interested to share their points of views. Can you try once again, one last time, Ishita, Khushi thing, video?
Sure, sir. I'll just try to play it again.
As I said, she's presently in Kathmandu, and the video and the internet was very poor, so she sent a video to us. Yes.
Can
She
you
has
see
been.
the screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, we can see. Yes, yeah.
But we can't listen to what she's speaking.
Just check your audio.
Is she audible? I'm really not sure.
No, not audible.
Not audible, no. So I think let us leave it, because in that case, it will be, we will be, because all our members would also like to speak and share their views. So I think let's not waste time in that. May I straight away request Rana Basharat Ali Khan Saab to share his views before we open the floor for discussions and questions from our esteemed panelists. Rana Saab?
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good day and happy International Day of Happiness. As a chairman of International Human Rights Movement, I'm delegated to speak with you all on this special day, dedicated to spreading joy and positive worldwide. Today we come together to celebrate happiness, a wonderful feeling that brings us all together, no matter where we're from or what we believe in. But what exactly happiness? It is not just feeling good for a moment. It is about feeling contentness, satisfied, and the peace with ourselves and the world around us. It means the happiness is not around what we feel, is happiness around our existence show to other. In our quest of happiness, we often focus on the personal agenda, but it's come from the helping other, making positive impact and working toward a fair and kind world. As a chairperson of human rights, we understand that happiness is closely linked to the well-being of others, especially those who are struggling or facing injustice. So our goal is to spread happiness. Goal goes hand in hand with our mission, protect people, right and dignity. But how do we make people happy throughout our work for humanity? Firstly, by standing up for the right. This is very important. How we can make people happy? Firstly, by standing up for the right of every person, no matter who they are, where they come from, what we fight against, what they believe, what is their color, what is their culture, and especially what is their religion. We have to understand, we have to stand for them. We create the world where everyone can be happy and feel free. Secondly, by making kind and understanding toward others, by representing people in a different and treated everyone with the compassion, we create a world where everyone feel a value and a special. Third option, by investing in things like education and healthcare, the people need it for a better life. When we support our community and give people the tool they need to success, we make happiness possible for everyone. And finally, working toward peace, finding a peace around us, equality everywhere. By the admiring cause of conflict and inequality, we create a world where everyone can live without fear and have the chance to follow their dream. Let's remind this one thing to each of us, that we are here together to bring the better future for our upcoming generation. That's what is a happiness in my belief. When we support our community and give people the tool they need to success, that is a real happiness. Happiness not is that with our own money, we buy a Porsche car, living luxury life and living with a nice houses. Might be this is our happiness for ourselves. This is not happiness we spread around the world. And finally, by working toward a happiness for a people, that is a happiness I called. Let's remind the happiness just something we find, is something we create together. By standing up for human rights and treat each other with a kindness, we can build a world where happiness is reality for everyone. So this is my message on this day, and I believe all of you are working for this. No matter how big or small scale you are, Oh, this is not a matter that you are a head of the organization, or you are leading a community, or you are leader for a people of thousands of followers with you. You are leader within yourself. If you're leading a family, if you're leading a child in a home, if you're leading your sisters, if you're leading your street, your neighborhood, if you're giving happiness to the one person, believe me, your happiness giving to the God for his creation. And when we are talk about the happiness, don't forget happiness is not linked to the human. Happiness also linked with every creation which is created by the God. Let's feel if we have an animal around us, if we have a dog, cat around us, if we're kind with that, if we are giving them a right attitude, if we are giving them food, if you're not giving them anything, at least if we look at them with a love, trust me, animal feel the same way the human feel. If you go to the jungle, sometime the wild animal will come and attack you. But the same lion which is wild and aggressive in a jungle, with your love, with your with your link, and with your hard works of years and years, they become your best friends. They will dance, they will run on your signals and your fingers. Let's spread the love and let's united work together. In the end, I will always mention and I will always repeat saying this. Please, if any of you want to join us in the United Nations or want to come in a UK, feel free to approach me. As a global peace, let's talk. We are a team as a family. So let's start giving happiness to each other. Thank you, and thank you again.
Thank you, Rana Saab. And what important succinctly you put all the points. And if we all remember the initial points made by Ishita on the essence of human interconnectedness, you also delved on that. And I firmly believe that when we respect and love and have compassion for not just other human beings, but nature and other living beings also, we will be spreading happiness. Now, the floor is open for everyone to share their brief points or questions from any of the esteemed panelists. So, if we have any questions or any point of views from our esteemed members, so kindly go ahead and please ask. Anyone, please? We see Madam Rana from Egypt and Nandita ma'am from India. We have others also. So if anyone would like to ask any questions, you are most welcome. Please unmute yourself, whosoever wants to ask any question. Yeah, I think Madam Rana wants to ask something. You have to unmute yourself.
Hello, everybody. Happiness Day. Actually, I don't want to say anything, but I can say that happiness, it's the inner feeling inside yourself. You have to be happy within yourself first, and then you can give happiness to others around you. My happiness, my personal view of happiness, just as Mr. Basharat said, my baby cats. I have 10 cats. My happiness around them. Yeah. 15 years ago, I was so depressed, and then I decided to play yoga. When I did this, I played yoga. I became very happy. I did a lot of meditation. I looked at the outer atmosphere with other different aspects. I became very silent, very calm. I became happy. So happiness is inside of all of us, but we have to be first happy to give happiness to others. Thank you so much, and very happy Happiness Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share their views?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, Madam Nandita. Yes.
Um, and
Please unmute yourself.
I've unmuted myself, but my video seems to have stopped.
No problem. Please go ahead. No issues.
I was listening to everyone, and it was a very interesting examination of the subject. What I felt was,
Ma'am, please unmute yourself. Once again, there is a problem. Yeah, please. I think there is some problem with your network. Yeah, please tell. Yes.
okay. So, yeah, most of the points have been covered. Our psychologist friend was very precise. Rana Saab told us about how we can make happiness possible. I felt that one point has been overlooked, and that is the loneliness factor of elderly people. So that is not something which they can create happiness for themselves, because it is a situational thing. And a stage comes in life when you become alone and you are plagued with health problems, and the elderly get people become very lonely, and that creates a lot of unhappiness, and that also creates added mental unhappiness and physical ailments also. So that has to be addressed by the younger members of the society, the family and the society, and they have to help them, because sometimes they are immobile, sometimes they are not technologically advanced, so they cannot access enough engagements and entertainment to keep themselves happy. So there has to be a effort from the community to involve our elders, our retired people, our senior people who have lots of expertise, lots of experience, but because they are retired or older now, their expertise is being lost and their value is being lost. So that is a collective loss to our nation, and it's also a great loss of happiness and well-being. So I think that has to be addressed from a social angle as well as from the community, to engage our elderly citizens and people at every level of society in activities and in sharing their knowledge, sharing their advice, and making happiness possible for the senior citizens also. I feel that is what I feel.
A very important point, and in fact, the loneliness is a very, very critical issue in today's world, not just for seniors, but everyone. Loneliness, whether in the workplace, loneliness in families, loneliness in institutions, so on and so forth. So, definitely, it is our question, like when our sister Jane Murutu was talking of happiness deficit. So, loneliness is another critical factor which promotes unhappiness. So I think we have covered quite a bit of points today with some really good ideas from our speakers, esteemed speakers. We really thank a lot on behalf of Global Peace Let's Talk. Nikki ma'am could not join. Madam Ishita Thaplial, Madam Sister Jane Murutu, Fatima, our youngest member. Of course, we could not get Khushi's video, and our friend from Cameroon, he joined us briefly, but I think there was a problem of network, and as usual, our Rana Sahab, who was always as good as we can always hear him. So thank you all. I don't think we have any more points. Let's remain happy. It was a very good session for each one of us, a good learning session for each one of us. And let's continue these dialogues on the platform of the Global Peace Let's Talk with some really interesting topics in months to come. Thank you very much from my side, and let's work together further for global peace, global culture of peace and non-violence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is it okay if I share